Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm having a fantastic day. I'm transitioning back to reality, guys. I was away, some of you may know, frolicking in the ocean, having a good time, as I always do, and I'm back. A little jet lagged. Well, not jet lagged. There's not much of a time change, but what's the word? You know, when you transition from being happy on holiday, swimming in the nice warm Caribbean every day, diving, snorkeling, drinking margaritas, tanning my nice bronze complexion. And now look at me. It's the next morning. Travel days are always hard. I had to travel back. It's a direct flight, but it takes forever, because there was a taxi from the hotel to the ferry. Get on the ferry across to Playa del Carmen from Cosml, and taxi from Playa del Carmen to Cancun. Then wait around, watch the last episode of White Lotus at the airport in Cancun, then fly all the way here, then taxi back home. It's a shit show. And yes, I did last episode of White Lotus, first season. Have you guys watched that show? I'll give you a little bit of advice. Don't. Once you get sucked in and you start watching it, you gotta watch. I think it's only 7 episodes was the first season. And I know I was just on holiday and I'm talking about White Lotus. HBO, so of course it's HBO, right? So they have to put a bunch of gratuitous cocks and tits in it. Okay? Just because that's what HBO does. Oh, we're HBO, we can show a cock. Anyways, first season finale. They told me, watch it. You're gonna love it. It's amazing. Wow, you've never seen anything like it, and they were right. I've never seen anything like it. Picture an assortment of the biggest, pretentious, disgusting, spoiled, prima donna, self-absorbed, selfish, pompous douchebag, shithead assholes that you can. Self-entitled pricks. Picture an assortment of about 12 of them as the main characters. And then the show happens, and they all are fine, and the 1 or 2 kind of nice guys in the show, they die. Hey, enjoy! I'm going to write HBO and see if I can do a alternative ending. If Klaus Kellerman can direct an alternative ending for the final episode of White Lotus season 1, I'll direct alternative ending by Klaus Kellerman and just have the same episode. And in my episode, every single character in that show would fucking die. I'd have different, strange, grotesque ways of how they perish. And the guys that did die, they would be fine. Because they're all pricks, and you hate them all. And you guys are, Klaus, why are you talking about this? I have not seen White Lotus. Okay, do yourself a favor. Don't bother. It's just a show that the writers have concocted to. If you're a selfish, self-entitled prick, you'll like the show. You'll say, oh, thank God they got out of that situation. But if you're kind of you have some empathy and you're maybe a normal-minded person, you'll hate all of them. Anyways, let's put that aside. That's what I did at the airport, guys. I got to the airport early and I had to watch the last episode of White Lotus. And of course, at the Cancun airport, you only get, it's free Wi-Fi. This is in Mexico. Free Wi-Fi at the airport, which means you have to put in an email, a phone number, your name, your address, right? So I just make it up. And free Wi-Fi only lasts half an hour. The episode's like an hour and 15 minutes. So after half an hour, it stops. And then you have to invent a new person to log in to get your free Wi-Fi. So it was a bit of a shit show. Maybe that put a damper on my enjoyment of the show. But what the hell am I talking about that for? The trip was amazing. If you want to see some amazing content of the snorkeling and the scuba diving and the, should you go to Cosml, check out my POV channel. I did a video on it, and I've already posted it. And the answer is yes. It's an amazing place. If you have ever been to kind of one of those all-inclusive party places in Mexico, maybe in Cabo or Cancun or Acapulco or Puerto Vallarta or Guayabitos, any of those places, you just go there with a bus of other kind of overweight white people wearing flip-flops, some of them that should not be showing their feet to anyone. But you get a charter and you fly down there and they squeeze you onto this bus. So there's 48 of you from Canada, really pale, and they're really hot. And they put you on this bus and they turn the air conditioning on and you get blasted by cold air. And you're in there like this. And they drive you to a hotel and they kind of push you off the bus. And then they put a bracelet on your arm. And then for the next week you just drink and eat until you get food poisoning. And you pass out outside the first day, and you get burnt like a lobster. So you're uncomfortable for. You got to put on lanolin lotion and stuff for your burn. And the only way you can feel good is by getting hammered, and so that it doesn't hurt. Those kind of, and there's music playing all the time, right? And there's usually some Latin guy in the pool that's conducting some sort of like an activity. Like maybe who can make it across the pool holding the beer on their head and not spilling it? But the guy can't speak English, so he goes, and the first contestant is, what is your name? Maria from Texas! Texas! Oh! And in the background is the Spanish music. You know those type of holidays? And you get a headache within 20 minutes and you know it's going to last for a week, and the only way you can make it through is by having at least one shot of tequila every 45 minutes or so for a week. It's not like that. Right? This is different. Cozumel is different. It's still Mexico, but it's a little island off the coast of Cancun. Well, Cancun's here, and then down here is Playa del Carmen, and take a ferry out there is a little island of Cozumel. And by island, I mean it used to be a reef. It's a coral reef itself. The island is. In fact, most of the Yucatan Peninsula is a coral reef. And the island is Cozumel Island, which means Island of the Swallows. And it's a reef. But so it's flat, and now it's exposed above sea level, and it's a kind of a tiny island. And there's some people on there, a little bit of population on the west side. And there's like one road that goes around the island. And some Mexicans that live in the middle. And it's not really a all-inclusive party place. It's more because the island itself is a reef, which is exposed now. But then in the water is what is today the fringing reef around the island. That is fabulous, beautiful, live, undead, like not dead reef that you can snorkel and you can dive, and it's fabulous. And it's warm water, which is a little interesting because a lot of the reefs that are dying in the world are because the water is warming and they're getting bleached. But in Cozumel, the water is fairly warm, and it always has been. And the reef is not dead. There's a lot of current, which helps the reef. There's a lot of, all the diving is drift diving, like that Centurion Action X that just drifted by. Okay? This is what it's like. Imagine him. He's drift diving right now, right? And the reef is still alive. Oh! As you see, I picked a good game to do commentary. See, guys? Didn't I? Did I pick a good game? So yeah, it's fat, but if you're into water, and I'm not talking about water sports like zooming around in a whatever those things are called, a speedboat or you know the things with the motors. What are they called? Whatever. You know, that's sure you can do that anywhere. But if you want to go under the water, see what's under the water? It's an incredible place. So I got some really good footage of underwater activities in Cosml. And I don't know why I started the video talking about White Lotus. Everyone's drifting by.
We're done for. Everyone get out.
Well, the reef's not dead, but he is. So I guess technically he had a great game, but he lost. So I guess technically he had a pretty good game. He did over 7,000 damage, 5 kills. But it was a defeat. He lost, and therefore he sucks. You should have went on holiday. You should have come diving. This is the hat with the turtle on it. See? This is my... I always get a hat. This is from there. And drift diving. Have you guys ever heard of drift diving? It's not a beginner place to dive. I'll put it that way. But I know a lot of beginners do go there, and they want to, and they don't get the enjoyment out of it. In fact, sometimes they get hurt. But there's current, constant current, all the time. So every dive you do there, the boat goes to the starting point, and you go into the water. And it's generally shallow dives, like 40 to 60, 70 feet. So you go out and you go down. But as soon as you enter the water and you start descending, you have a fairly strong current that you start moving with the current. And I'm not talking about just a little bit. Right? You drift. I don't know what the speed would be, but substantial, like knots worth of drifting. And you're moving along, and then the boat knows that you're going to drift that way, and it follows you. And then at the end of the dive guy will let up like a float, so the boat knows where you've gotten to. I think they have now like those little tracking things that the guy will carry. They don't trail a float on the surface. I think they have electronic tracking mechanism. The boat follows you, and you move along fairly briskly. And when you go down, and there's big reefs and topography at the bottom, and like big reefs, right, that jut up 10, 15, 20 feet and down, and holes and caverns, and it's all. You can check it out on video that I posted. Maybe I'll link the video up here in the top right corner so you can have a look at it. So when you're drifting along, the current's taking you. You cannot go against the current. And in fact, you have to be cognitive of the fact that you're drifting this way. You will, if you're too deep, if you come across a big mound of reef, you'll smash into it, and you'll get hurt. So you have to keep adjusting your depth, and you have to look where you're going and avoid smashing into the reef, or floating off in some different direction. So you have to manage your depth and the direction you're going, and you have to be able to do this really calmly so that you can enjoy what you're down there for, which is seeing stuff. So I've done this before, so I know what I'm doing. But if you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend it. I recommend going somewhere easier until you build up your skills so that you're comfortable underwater to kind of make these maneuvers and decisions. Really cool. So every dive there is a drift dive. There's current, strong current, which is very, and because there's the strong current, the reef is very alive. The current brings nutrients, and there's abundant sea life, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful. But anyway, so enough of that. It was fantastic. It was fun. And that's the kind of stuff I love doing that stuff. Rather than just, you know, going and drinking and partying. There's margarita time as well, guys. Don't get me wrong, right? After doing whatever it is that you're doing during the day, then it's margarita time. But maybe one margarita or two. But the way those Mexicans mix the margaritas, I tell you. Like, you know, if you get a margarita, if Alejandro mixes the margaritas, it's okay. It's a nice, tasty, semi-sweet margarita. That's Alejandro's margarita. But when Manuel brings you a margarita, holy shit! You go, Manuel, how much tequila did you put in this one? Right? They do. That's Manuel. Do you like it strong, senor? They're all. It's like there's no measuring. Manuel has a way. There's I always out at the outside beach bar, right? It was margarita time. If Manuel was there, I'd call Manuel every now and then, and he'd come by and take my order. And I'd always tip them, right? Tip them, I don't know, 50 pesos or something when they come and bring you. If you go to the bar yourself, okay, but if they bring it to you, I give them a little tip. But I got to know Manuel fairly well, and I said to Manuel, I said, Manuel, when I call you, hey, we're going to do this joke, okay? We're going to keep everyone at the resort entertained. So when I come, and it's margarita time, and I come here and you see me, if I see you first and I call you Manuel, then what you have to do, if I call you Manuel, you have to say, ¿Qué? And I told him just like that. He goes, huh? I said, seriously, Manuel, if I call you, if I'm coming, I see you, I'm going to, you know, there's a whole bunch of people around, and I'll see you and I'll go, Manuel! Then you have to look at me and go, ¿Qué? And he didn't know. But he started doing it, right? So I'd be sitting there and I'd see him and then I go, Manuel! And then you hear the guy, ¿Qué? And of course that's Faulty Towers, right? You guys watch Faulty Towers? With John Cleese? Manuel! ¿Qué? Which is very stereotypically, yeah, I guess it's inappropriate, right? But Manuel enjoyed it. Probably because I gave him a tip every time. But we had a laugh. It became a joke, right? And for like 2 weeks. So there's people around. And I'd sit down there. Right, like this. And I look at it, I'd see him over there. And I go, Manuel! And then you, ¿Qué? Margarita! Okay! And it was just, so we had this banter. But the rest of the guests, they just look over. That guy, he's so rude. I think he's from the USA, that guy. And I go along with it. Yeah, Americans were pretty rude, so. You know, but Manuel, he's got to do his job. We had a blast. I kid you not. Manuel! And I got it, you know, like you embellish, right? The first time it's Manuel, okay. Manuel, okay. But then by about the 6th or 7th day, come out of the water, right? Sit down at the beach bar like this. Manuel! Okay? Manuel! Okay, ya vengo na. Margarita, okay. It was like it escalated, right? Screaming at him, Manuel! Okay? Watch Faulty Towers. Have you guys not watched Faulty Towers? Come on. Some of you guys that are watching from Great Britain. Manuel! Okay? Let me know in the comment section if you've seen that. But long story short, guys, I'm back. And hey, you won. Therefore, you do not suck. And it was a pretty amazing last kill there. You know, take the long road home or whatever. What am I gonna do? Gonna get back to the grind. Back to the grind of life. Leave some comments, guys. Let me know what you think. Check out my other video, the Cosml diving, if you're interested. And I'll catch you on the next one.